Are you or your child having a difficult time falling asleep? Today I'm going to talk about the three big overarching reasons of what might be impacting your ability to get a good, restful night's sleep. I'm Joelle Hill with Hill Family Sleep Solutions, and I am a certified child sleep consultant who specializes in working with children with neurodiversity. I also do support children who are neurotypical as well, and adults who are also experiencing sleep difficulties. So today I'm going to talk about the three big overarching reasons. So the first reason is that there might be something biologically going wrong or impacting sleep. So those are those altered neurochemicals, our hormones in our bodies that aren't working as optimally as they should, and they would impact falling asleep and staying asleep. So a common hormone is melatonin that we think of when we think about sleep. So people who are neurodiverse, their brains are wired and fired a little bit differently, may have decreased amounts of melatonin being produced and emitted from the body, so that coming to bedtime is making that transition a little bit harder. They don't have as much melatonin, or their body is not able to produce the melatonin or absorb the melatonin the same as another brain. So there's those individual differences. So if you're taking melatonin, or your child is taking melatonin, and you're still not seeing that difference, they may not be able to absorb that synthetic hormone, or as well have decreased amounts of producing it. Other hormones are the serotonin levels are often more depleted, or smaller amounts are being emitted into the body, as well as those GABA proteins and other ones as well that might be factoring in. So that's from that kind of that biological perspective. If the flush of melatonin or the release of melatonin happens at the wrong time, and you don't catch it, or go to bed when that, because melatonin is released like a toilet flush, so it just like it whooshes out and it's released into the body. So if you're going to bed too early or going to bed too late, in missing that kind of optimum time of that melatonin release, that could be a factor as well too. Of course, technology impacts our melatonin production and release into our body. Something to consider. I always recommend at least an hour and a half of screen-free time, tech-free time before bed to help with that. So that's number one. Number two is medical. So you have to take into consideration the medical reasons of what might be happening around sleep. So children who are neurodiverse, who have neurodiverse brains, are more likely to have other medical things that might be going on as well too. So you think of it short term, there might be acute. We all experience acute difficulties with sleep in terms of medical reasons. So that's pain, teething, an injury, a short-term illness, something that might be impacting us in the short term in terms of our medical piece of it. So in the longer term, if they're picky eaters, they may have some lower ferritin levels, which is the iron in our bodies. So they may not be big meat eaters or iron eaters or green leafy vegetable eaters. So those might be impacting what might be going on. So another piece of the medical is if there's any mouth breathing or snoring or gasping or snorting or something that's going on. If you hear your child doing that frequently and loudly, it would be helpful to take a video of them mouth breathing or snoring and taking it to your healthcare professional, just to kind of explore if there might be something structural going on that might be impacting them getting good quality sleep or feeling rested in the morning. So often they have bags under their eyes, or just that irritability, hard to get up in the morning even though they might have slept well all night. The third big overarching reasons, you want to consider their biological makeup and the timing and the structure of sleep and what's happening with that, as well as any medical reasons of what might be going on. and then looking at the sleep habits that we form that we around sleep. So those are those expectations around sleep, those transitions, the bedroom environment, our routine around sleep, and our schedules or the timing of sleep. And of course, when we look at sleep associations, or how we fall asleep, is also a consideration in terms of how we fall asleep, is often in what we need in the middle of the night to help us fall asleep again. So thinking about some are really positive and helpful associations, sleep associations, and sometimes they're not as helpful, and can be getting in the way of helping our child to fall back asleep in the middle of the night. So this is something I share a lot when I have conversations with families, when I support them with their sleep, just to kind of looking at the big picture of what might be happening for your child with sleep. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to work with your family and help you get better rest.